Hello. Thank you for making time for yourself again and joining me here. Let's explore together today where our strength is hiding. Have you noticed that sometimes your stomach behaves, well, let's just say, not as predictably as it used to? Perhaps there's a heaviness after eating that wasn't there before, or just a general feeling that something inside isn't working as smoothly anymore. This is very familiar to many of us, and often it's not just age-related, but a sign that our gut, our second brain as it's sometimes called, might be aging a bit faster than we are. You see, over the years, our digestive system naturally changes. Slightly fewer enzymes are produced to help break down food, the intestinal muscles don't work as actively, and the balance of beneficial bacteria can be disrupted. And you know what adds fuel to the fire? Some of our usual foods and rituals. Sweet pastries, which seem like such an innocent pleasure, might act like a short, fiery quarrel in your stomach, causing fermentation and discomfort. And an abundance of fried, heavy food. It's like forcing an old, trusty car to haul an impossible load down a bumpy road. It creaks, groans, and wears out faster. But don't rush to get upset. I promise you that today we'll break down simple, accessible steps that will help your gut feel younger and help you regain lightness, energy, and a good mood. No complicated diets or expensive supplements, just clear substitutions in your diet and lifestyle. Stay with me until the end, and you'll find out how small changes can lead to significant and positive results for your well-being. Sign number 1, bloating and gas, often appears first. All right, let's start with the very signal that many notice first, sometimes without even connecting it to gut aging, more frequent bloating and gas. Remember how you used to be able to eat almost anything, and your stomach stayed calm? And now, sometimes it seems like even familiar food makes it start to act up, like an overstuffed suitcase about to burst at the seams. This often happens because food digests more slowly, and bacteria in the gut get more time to ferment it, especially if the diet is high in simple carbohydrates or certain foods. So, what can be done? The very first and simplest step, replace large portions and quick on-the-go snacks with more frequent, smaller meals and mindful eating. Let me tell you the story of Margaret, who is 66 years old. Margaret always loved her afternoon tea with cookies and sometimes allowed herself a soda as a little treat. But over the last couple of years, she started noticing that by evening, her stomach would bloat, discomfort appeared, and sometimes embarrassing noises. She felt awkward visiting people, was embarrassed to wear form-fitting clothes. "But I eat almost the same things I always have," she complained to me. "Why is my stomach protesting like this? It must just be old age." She tried drinking kefir at night, but it didn't always help. Her habit was to eat quite a heavy lunch, and then a couple of hours later, tea with several cookies or wafers. We suggested she try eating more often, but smaller amounts. Instead of one large lunch, split it into 2 meals with a 2 to 3 hour interval, and replace sugary sodas and store-bought cookies with herbal tea and a handful of nuts, or a couple of slices of whole grain crisp bread with avocado. Margaret grumbled at first. "This is so inconvenient, constantly thinking about food. I'm used to eating 3 times a day." She felt it would rob her of spontaneity, but she decided to try it for at least a week. And you know what happened? After just a few days, she noticed that the evening bloating became significantly less. Her stomach wasn't as bloated anymore. It turned out that her digestive system simply found it easier to handle smaller amounts of food at a time. Imagine a small stream. If you throw many stones into it at once, it might overflow. But if you add pebbles one by one, the water continues to flow calmly. It's the same with our digestion. Smaller portions don't overload the system, enzymes have time to work more effectively, and the gas-producing bacteria simply have less fuel. Margaret felt not only physical relief, but also psychological. Her confidence returned, the embarrassment disappeared. She started wearing her favorite dresses again. So, if bloating and gas have become frequent companions, try eating smaller amounts more often. It's a simple step that can bring surprising relief. Listen to your body. It will guide you. Sign number 2, increased sensitivity to foods. The next sign, which can also appear quite early, is when foods you've eaten your whole life without issue suddenly start causing discomfort. Maybe after a glass of milk, there's rumbling, or after your favorite oatmeal for breakfast, you feel a heaviness that wasn't there before. It's like an old, dear friend suddenly starting to say hurtful things, unexpected, and upsetting. This might be because, with age, the production of certain enzymes decreases, like lactase for digesting milk sugar, or the permeability of the intestinal wall changes, making it more sensitive. What can be done here? Replace ignoring these signals with careful observation and keeping a simple food diary. I want to share the story of Arthur, 68 years old. Arthur loved starting his day with a large bowl of cottage cheese with sour cream and berries. It had been his ritual for decades. But in the last year, he started noticing that after such a breakfast, he often experienced an unpleasant feeling of fullness in his stomach, and sometimes even mild nausea. He attributed it to fatigue or the weather. Nonsense, he told himself. I've always eaten cottage cheese, it's healthy. He stubbornly continued his morning ritual, although the discomfort soured his mood for the first half of the day. It was unpleasant for him to admit that his body was changing, and his favorite food no longer brought only pleasure. We advised Arthur to simply jot down in a notebook what he ate and how he felt afterward. Just a couple of lines. Date, time, food, feelings after an hour or two. He was skeptical at first. What am I, a schoolboy keeping diaries? But he decided to try. After just a week, he saw a clear pattern. The discomfort appeared specifically after the cottage cheese with sour cream. But when he had, for example, an omelet or porridge made with water for breakfast, everything was fine. This discovery allowed him to act consciously. He didn't give up dairy completely, but replaced the cottage cheese with sour cream with Greek yogurt, which has less lactose, or tried lactose-free cottage cheese. Sometimes he ate his beloved cottage cheese, but in smaller quantities. It was like tuning an old radio. He just needed to find the right frequency to get clear sound. The food diary helped him tune his diet. Physiologically, reducing the amount of lactose or choosing products with less of it eased the burden on his digestive system, which was finding it harder to produce enough lactase. Psychologically, Arthur felt in control of the situation. He stopped fighting his body and started cooperating with it. His morning mood improved, and he began to enjoy breakfast again, simply by slightly changing its composition. If you notice that some familiar food has started causing discomfort, don't ignore it. Try keeping a simple diary for a couple of weeks. This will help you identify the culprit and find a tasty and comfortable replacement. Your body will thank you. Sign number 3, changes in bowel habits, constipation or diarrhea. Another frequent companion of a tired gut is a change in bowel regularity. What used to work like clockwork might now falter, a tendency towards constipation, or, conversely, episodes of diarrhea appear. This can cause not only physical discomfort, but also anxiety. It feels like the internal mechanism responsible for order has suddenly started malfunctioning. The reasons can vary: slowing of peristalsis, intestinal muscle contractions, insufficient intake of fiber or water, changes in microflora. What's the solution here? Replace a lack of fiber and water in your diet with consciously adding them. Listen to the story of Eleonora, 72 years old. Eleonora had always been an active woman, but for the past few years, she had been bothered by constipation. She tried various laxative teas, but they only provided temporary relief and sometimes caused cramps and discomfort. She didn't drink much water, thinking tea and soup were enough. Her diet contained too few fresh vegetables and whole grain products. She preferred white bread, pasta, mashed potatoes. I feel so heavy and sluggish, she shared. It's so unpleasant, and I'm constantly thinking about it. This problem affected her overall well-being and mood. We suggested Eleonora do 2 simple things. First, replace some of the white bread and pasta with whole grain alternatives, wholemeal bread, brown rice, buckwheat, and also add more vegetables, especially leafy greens, beets, carrots, and some fruits, apples, plums, especially prunes. Second, put a nice pitcher of water in a visible place and try to drink at least 5 to 6 glasses of plain water throughout the day, in addition to other beverages. At first, it seemed difficult to her. Whole grains, they're so tough, and I just forget to drink water. But she started gradually. She added a fresh vegetable salad to her lunch, replaced white rice with buckwheat, started putting a couple of prunes in her morning porridge. The pitcher of water on the kitchen table constantly reminded her, and gradually, things began to improve. The fiber from vegetables, fruits, and whole grains worked like a gentle but effective brush for the intestines, helping to form stool and stimulating peristalsis. And the water softened the intestinal contents, making them easier to pass. It didn't happen overnight, but after a couple of weeks, Eleonora noticed that her bowels started working much more regularly and smoothly. The feeling of heaviness disappeared. Her mood improved. She felt lighter and freer. She realized her body simply needed the right tools, fiber, and water. If you're dealing with irregular bowel movements, try adding more fiber from vegetables, fruits, whole grains to your diet, and don't forget to drink enough water. It's like oiling a rusty mechanism. It will start working smoothly again. Take care of your comfort. Sign number 4. Decreased energy levels and constant fatigue. Do you feel tired more often than before? As if your battery drains faster and you lack energy even for usual activities? Surprisingly, this too can be related to the state of your gut. If digestion is inefficient, the body absorbs nutrients from food less effectively, vitamins, minerals that give us energy. Furthermore, chronic inflammation in the gut, which can develop with an imbalance of microflora or poor diet, drains the body's resources. What can you change? Replace fast carbohydrates and sugar, which provide only a short burst of energy, with complex carbohydrates and healthy fats for stable energy levels. David, 65 years old, always considered himself an energetic person. But lately, he started noticing that after lunch, he felt an irresistible urge to nap, and by evening, he felt completely drained. To perk himself up during the day, he often drank sweet coffee or ate a chocolate bar. This gave a short burst of energy, but then fatigue would wash over him with renewed force. "I feel like I'm on a roller coaster," he said. "First up, then a sharp drop. I don't understand where my energy is going." His lunch often consisted of white rice or potatoes with meat, and snacks were cookies or sweet fruits. We suggested David try changing his energy sources. Replace white rice with brown rice or quinoa, potatoes with sweet potatoes or whole wheat pasta. Instead of sugary snacks, a handful of almonds or walnuts, a piece of dark chocolate with high cocoa content, an apple with a spoonful of peanut butter. The idea was to shift from fast carbs, which cause a sharp spike in blood sugar followed by a sharp drop, hence the fatigue, to slow carbs and healthy fats, which release energy gradually. Imagine a campfire. If you throw dry leaves, sugar on it, it will flare up brightly and quickly die down. But if you put on a thick log, complex carbs, fats, it will burn steadily and long. David found it hard to give up the familiar sweets that gave an instant feeling of energy. He admitted that his hand still reached for a candy after lunch, but he decided to focus on how he felt after eating, and he noticed the difference. After a lunch with brown rice and vegetables, that sleepiness wasn't there. Snacking on nuts provided satiety and stable energy for several hours without the subsequent crash. His energy roller coaster turned into a calm, steady journey on a smooth road. Improved nutrient absorption and more stable blood sugar levels gave him the steady energy he had been lacking. He started feeling more energetic throughout the day. If you're struggling with fatigue, pay attention to what you eat. Try replacing simple carbohydrates and sugar with whole foods rich in fiber and healthy fats. Your gut and your energy levels might pleasantly surprise you. Find your long-burning logs for your energy fire. Sign number 5, mood swings and increased anxiety. Have you ever considered that your mood could be directly linked to what's happening in your gut? It's not make-believe. There's the gut-brain axis, a constant two-way communication between our digestive system and central nervous system. Our gut produces many neurotransmitters, including serotonin, the happiness hormone. If the gut microflora is disrupted, if there's chronic inflammation, this can negatively affect our emotional state, leading to mood swings, increased anxiety, or even depressive states. It's like static on a phone line between two important speakers. The information gets distorted and misunderstanding arises, in this case, between the body and the brain. How to help yourself in this situation? Replace ignoring stress and lack of sleep with conscious relaxation practices and prioritizing quality rest. Also, add foods to your diet that are friendly to both your gut and your mood. Let me tell you about Sophia, 69 years old. Sophia had always been quite an emotional person, but lately, she noticed she had become more irritable, more often overcome by baseless anxiety, and her mood could sour over any little thing. At the same time, she had digestive issues, occasional bloating and discomfort. She tried to eat her stress with sweets or pastries, which only provided temporary comfort, and then she felt even worse. "I don't recognize myself," she said. "It's like there's a constant knot of nerves inside me. She slept poorly, often waking up in the middle of the night. We talked with Sophia about the connection between gut and mood and suggested a comprehensive approach. Firstly, replace evening couch time watching TV or aimlessly scrolling through news on her phone with a calm walk before bed or a warm bath with lavender. Secondly, try simple breathing exercises for stress relief during the day, literally 5 minutes of deep, slow breathing. Thirdly, replace some sweets and pastries with foods that support a healthy microbiome and brain, fermented foods, natural yogurt, sauerkraut, fatty fish, source of omega-3s, berries, nuts, green leafy vegetables. At first, Sophia thought it was all too complicated and unrelated to her anxiety. How can a walk affect my mood? She doubted, but she decided to try, starting small, with evening walks and adding yogurt to her breakfast. Gradually, she noticed changes. The walks helped her clear her head. The breathing exercises helped her calm down during moments of tension. Improving her digestion through a healthier diet also contributed. It was as if someone had cleared the static from that phone line between the gut and the brain. The signals started getting through more clearly. After a month, Sophia noted that she reacted more calmly to minor annoyances. Her sleep improved, and her overall mood became more even. She felt she could manage her emotions again instead of being hostage to them. Taking care of your gut is also taking care of your mental well-being. Try adding simple stress relief rituals to your life, take care of your sleep, and choose food that nourishes not only your body, but also a good mood. Your gut and your brain will work in harmony. Sign number 6, weakened immunity, frequent colds and infections. And the last, but no less important sign that your gut needs support is a weakening of the immune system. If you've started catching colds more often, picking up viruses, or taking longer to recover from illness, the root of the problem might lie in your gut. About 70–80% of our body's immune cells are located right in the gut. A healthy microbiome plays a key role in training and maintaining immunity. If the balance is disrupted, dysbiosis, our internal army becomes less vigilant and effective, letting enemies slip through or, conversely, starting to attack indiscriminately. What will help strengthen your defenses? Replace a monotonous, nutrient-poor diet with varied nutrition rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Let's recall the story of Robert, 70 years old. Robert always prided himself on rarely getting sick. But last winter, he suffered 3 colds in a row, and each one lasted longer and was more severe than usual. What's happening to me? He wondered. I used to be tough as nails. His diet was quite simple and not very varied. Sausage sandwiches in the morning, soup, often from a packet, and potatoes with a meat patty for lunch, tea with cookies in the evening. He ate few fresh fruits and vegetables, considering them not serious food. He felt vulnerable and upset about losing his former resilience to illness. We advised Robert to look at his plate like an artist's palette. The more different colors, colorful vegetables and fruits it had, the stronger the canvas of his health would be. We suggested he replace some familiar but less nutritious foods with more valuable ones. For example, instead of sausage for breakfast, an egg or a piece of boiled chicken with a slice of whole grain bread and a lettuce leaf. Add a portion of sauerkraut, a source of probiotics and vitamin C, or a simple salad of grated carrot and apple, to lunch. Instead of cookies with tea, a handful of berries, fresh or frozen, or a few orange slices. The goal was to enrich the diet with vitamins, especially C, D, A, minerals, zinc, selenium, and antioxidants, which are necessary for the normal functioning of the immune system and maintaining a healthy microflora. Robert liked the idea of a colorful plate. He started experimenting, adding greens to his soup, trying new vegetables, buying different fruits in season. It was like reinforcing the foundation of a house, unseen work, but it makes the entire structure stronger and more resistant to bad weather. Gradually, by the next fall-winter season, Robert noticed he was getting sick much less often. And if he did catch a mild cold, he recovered much faster. He felt protected and confident in his strength again. The varied diet helped his gut and immune system work together smoothly, like a well-trained team. Your immunity starts in your gut. Try to make your diet as varied and colorful as possible. Eat different vegetables, fruits, berries, greens, whole grains, quality protein. This is the best investment in your health and protection against illness. Let your internal army be strong and vigilant. Well, dear friends, we've looked at 6 signs that your gut might need a little more care and attention. Please remember that age is not a sentence to poor well-being. Your wisdom and life experience are tremendous strengths, and you absolutely deserve to feel good, light, and energetic at any stage of life. The small changes we talked about today, whether choosing different foods, changing eating patterns, or adding simple rituals for calmness, are not heroic feats or strict restrictions. They are acts of kindness and respect towards your own body, which has served you faithfully for many years. Don't be afraid to try, listen to yourself, and take small steps. Even one small change can trigger a whole chain of positive changes in your well-being. Your health and good mood are in your caring hands, and it's never too late to start acting for your own benefit. Believe in yourself. You can do it.